Energy is high today. We've got Eddie Bianco in the building, absolute legend out of Winchester. Let's go, Ed.
Yeah. Happy to be here. Glad to finally be on the podcast with the Inspire family.
Thank you.
Looking forward to it.
No, Eddie has been one of my closest friends since elementary school. Like Jack, he was also part of the friend group too, growing up, going to Ambrose. And we're fortunate to have him on, and we're glad that he's here, and we're excited to get it going.
Yeah, throwback to the days of the Ambrose School playground, playing hoops or some football recess.
When I carried you guys into the end zone.
Oh,
remember that?
yeah.
Carried all three Clark brothers into the end zone. Honest to God, Andre gave me a handoff. Shout out to Andre, bro.
Yeah.
But he gave me that handoff, and then you guys were all on the same team. You know, big tank Eddie, 140, like fifth grade, crazy. I was coming in there. You, Evan, Davis, all jumped on top of me, got into the end zone. I remember it to this day. They don't remember because it was the biggest embarrassment of the Clark family.
Was that after school?
After school, yeah.
Yeah, because what grade was that? You said
that was like third grade, when me and you started chopping it up.
I do remember the football games after school because our parents wouldn't want us to play tackle football.
Yeah.
I think you got clocked one game. Your mom picked you up.
It was rough.
Everyone thought you had a concussion.
Yeah. Like we played with Zach Blatt, he was pulling collars and stuff. Franny Dooley, Tommy, the whole Dooley clan, I think, played with us at one point. Yeah.
Those were the days. Everyone's come a long way since then, but that's where it all starts, the competitiveness and getting after it.
Yeah, that's where the relationship develops. But to start off, want to just tell us about Eddie B?
Absolutely.
You are and just give us a...
So, my name's Eddie. I'm 23. Got involved with Brennan and the Clark family since third grade back in Ambrose. Big basketball player growing up. That was like my calling card. People around town, when they think about me, I would assume that basketball kind of comes up, within the first couple sentences. Oh, we played basketball here, there, wherever. So then I went to Winchester High till 10th grade, was in the Winchester school system. Then I transferred to Lexington Christian Academy where I repeated my junior year and senior year. And then I went to school where I majored in accounting at Fairfield, transferred again to BC where I went for economics. And now I just started my job a week ago and I'm working at SS&C ES where I'm helping our clients execute trades. So it's like a development program that just recently got relaunched. They used to do it like 5-6 years ago. I'm like the inaugural class, like reintroduction class. So with this, job that I'm doing right now, I'm just learning the software, and then eventually, I'll start taking calls, doing incidents and service requests and that sort of thing, getting moved around to all the different segments, and then, after 6 to 8 months, they'll put me in a specific, area where I'm interested in, as well as where they need me, and then just keep building from there. Take every day.
That's awesome.
Congratulations, landing that job. And it sounds
it's a long time coming, honest to God. A long time coming. I pray to the Lord every day.
Yes, let's go. You were balling out at the alumni game last week. Ed was still at the jump shot going. He was raining some threes.
Yeah.
He was wheeling and dealing, which is awesome.
Still got it. Don't really play that much anymore, but when I do, it's like riding a bike. Like I still have the jumper. I can still kind of dribble a little bit, so that's all right.
You have the floater still?
Yeah, the floater's patented. I hit a floater. Would you see it? Yeah, I hit a floater.
Ed and I were playing on the same team.
Yeah, no, Davis is a monster.
I was rusty to say the least.
Yeah, no, but I mean, he was still getting after, running up and down, scoring layups. Like he was like basically the only kid really trying. No, really, like he was constantly running up and down, like right down the middle, straight layups.
Yeah, well, that's something we were talking about earlier. How we go back to the alumni games. We have kids our age that are in the best shape. And I'm in terrible shape.
Yeah.
And I was telling you this, where I think that's crazy, where if you're comparing your best shape to your 18-year-old self, that's mind-blowing.
100%.
If you're 25, you're still reaching, you haven't even hit your man strength yet.
Yeah.
You hit your man strength 28, I think, so.
Exactly. It's one thing if you put on daddy weight, mommy weight, whatever, when you have kids, but right now you should be in the best shape or close to it, I think. So, because strong mind starts with a strong body, and that's what I firmly believe.
Yeah. I know you're big into self-development and all that stuff, but why do you think people tend to get out of shape after high school?
Because they just don't have it anymore. It's different things pop up. High school, it's you go to practice 2 hours after school every day. You have friends that are somewhat active, you want to go pick up soccer on Saturday, whatever. And then, you're at school, you start boozing, you start eating unhealthy or staying out late, doing all these different things that, have a time and place, but then you start building those habits.
Yeah.
And it's just difficult to like, get out of those habits. And then, fresh and 15, it's real. I'll tell you right now, it's real. Like I personally didn't put on fresh and 15 because, I'm not really that big of a drinker, but I did indulge, had my nice time and all that stuff. But, you really see like guys and girls just balloon. And it's like, what happened? It's crazy.
And like you said, it's about setting up those good habits. And I would say that's a big strength that you have.
Yeah.
You even since a little kid, I guess we'll break it down because I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Eddie was the basketball guy. He brought it up when he was saying it, but Eddie and I played basketball from Ambrose Elementary School playground. I think that's probably where you got.
Yeah, that's where I started.
Where we first started, and then Eddie went full AAU, and then we ended up playing high school basketball together.
Yeah.
Do you want to just talk about that? Yeah, you want to just talk about that?
Yeah, you were crazy.
No, like it was a really, big thing for me personally. Starting out in 6th grade, really, like when I really started playing like organized basketball, I was probably like one of the worst kids at the tryout. Made our 4 team where, I actually played a lot on the 4 team. It was nice. Had some good coaches, Mr. Masucci, Mr. Weissman, and Mr. Phelan. Shout out to those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Great guys, really helped me love the game. All the kids on the team were really nice. And I just had an opportunity to play, like showcase my skills and, see where I was building. And then, I really liked it. They really introduced me to the game. And then from there, I started playing AAU. So I went over to Fidelity House. It's right across the street from Arlington Catholic in Arlington. So over there, like, I thought I was like, pretty decent. Like I was playing at, 6th grade with 6th grade with those guys. And I was playing a lot. So like, I thought that was gonna carry over to AAU. Totally wrong. I was a bench warmer for like the majority of my career.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like when I started on that team, I was an alternate. So like I'd go to the practices and stuff. Then some kid got injured or whatever. I'd be able to sit on the bench. I get those privileges. So it was just kind of like I'm working hard, trying to play and like get better. But at the same time, it didn't pan out. Like I was just, sitting at home like, dang, when can I play? When can I play? When is coach going to tell me I can, show up and come to these games and stuff? So it was just kind of a difficult thing to start with.
And that was throughout from 6th grade or when you started playing AAU all throughout high school?
No.
Throughout high school?
Yeah. So that was like my start. So my comeback story, so to speak, like, like the hero's journey, whatever, like you hit that climax and then you go down, or what do you call it? Like the come up?
Yeah.
Or whatever. So like I started out, whatever. Then I went down to like my low at the end of like 6th grade in our like inaugural tournament. Like we go up to like Orchard Beach, Maine or whatever. And, the coach like says something, about all the other guys and whatnot. And he came to me and he was like, you got some skills, Ed. But, if you were just in shape and like, weren't so big, like you'd be a decent player. Yeah. He said that in front of the whole team, family, parents, everybody, the whole 9.
How'd you feel?
It's tough.
Dude.
For a kid, too.
Like, you're
Coach
challenging
Ryan,
me. I ain't quitting. Like, I'm coming back. Like, 6th grade to 7th grade, I string beaned. You remember. I was like 140, 142 in 6th grade, 150. Getting like maybe, what was the pacer? Like, I don't even think I made it to the pacer. Like, I did like less than the healthy average.
And if people don't know what the pacer is, it's a fitness test where you go up. It's pretty much like suicides in basketball.
Yeah.
You just have to make it by the time.
Yeah. David Beckham made it big because that was his standard test that he'd do to see if he was in shape. Yeah, that's how it got popular.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah, so that was like so that was the start of the story right there. So I was like, I gotta get after it. Like I can't have this coach thinking like this is what Eddie Bianco is all about. Like I have more pride, more confidence in myself to do this. So that's what I ended up doing. I got my diet in order. I really started like hitting the gym, like not really weights yet. I didn't really start doing that till like high school, 8th grade maybe, but like just constantly all summer long, like Rising Star basketball camps. That's where I got introduced to them. Yeah. I was doing 2-3 weeks of that, like a summer, like absolute boot camp. I'd be drenched in sweat, morning all day long. Crazy. Love that guy. Shout out Kevin O'Brien. Shout out Kevin O'Brien.
I love the shout outs. I love the shout outs.
I remember doing Rising Star with
Give everyone the
I was on the email chain.
Yeah.
Not the email chain, but his pictures.
Yeah. I went to that camp so much that they have me on like the, what do they call it? Like the brochures and stuff. Yeah. Like I was like, I had a couple pictures in there. Like I thought I made it. You know what I mean? But, I love that stuff. Like he did like the clinics at Winchester too. Summer camps, Thanksgiving, roundup, whatever. I was there always. Summer league, everything. I was always, in the gym.
So you were just, after that, the coach made that comment, your mind shift completely.
Yeah,
shifted.
that's it. It was like I was not going to let this guy tell me what I am. I had to prove it to myself.
So was it like the next day you were at it, or was it gradual?
Nah, it had to take a while to kind of like let it sit, It's like, did he really say that? Like, am I going through it? What can I do? Like, you can't just go into something and just be like, I'm going to do this, this, and this. You got to kind of go at it gradually. Like, you don't just give up burgers and get salad like the next day. Like, it just doesn't work. You replace burgers with chicken, You just kind of find alternatives. It's not just, you can't go cold turkey because that's, a lot of people with these weight loss things, kind of going on a tangent and whatnot, but I guess it's
that's what it's all about.
It's like with these weight loss things, these people, like, they start out like loving their food and then they're going to like things that they don't like. Salads, fruit smoothies, whatever, like all this healthy thing. And then, after like a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever, they lose, their motivation because like they're missing everything that they loved. And like this diet does not feel like their life. So then like that's why they all gain that weight again. And it's like you never get there. So you got to figure out how to, make it consistent. And like things like, eat clean like 80% of the time and eat a little healthy 20% of the time. And then just kind of, that's how you're going to make constant progress. It's progressive. It's not just like 1 week you do like a cleanse and then you're tip top like 6-pack abs. Like it's you got to really work at it.
No, I think you just dropped some
Real
insight
knowledge.
right there, because that's something too, it's the consistency. And have you read the book Atomic Habits?
No, that's on my list though. I have a running list on my phone, put it away, but like 40 books on the list that I just gotta try and knock out.
Yeah, and that's
on the list. Yeah,
that's a great book, and that's a big thing where people try to create these habits right away.
Yeah,
and it's just so. I mean, some people can do it.
Yeah,
but the majority, it seems like you have to do it gradually, and then slowly build it into your life so you can be consistent over time.
10,000 hours.
Yeah. Do you think you put 10,000 hours into basketball?
No, definitely not. Maybe half of that, I would say. Maybe 3/4 of that, but I didn't get. I don't think I got to 10.
Hey, all the work habits carried over though.
Yeah, no, I learned a lot about basketball. Today. But like when I really think about it though, like at the end of the day, I failed. I didn't make it to my ultimate goal. Like my ultimate goal, like I started out, just being like a naive kid, like, oh, I'm gonna make it to the NBA. I'll say it. That's what I thought. 7-year-old.
Everyone thinks that.
Little nugget, meatball-looking kid, Italian, 4'11", no business playing basketball. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make it to the NBA. I'm gonna play at Duke. And then that's what I thought. What can I say? So then, over time, you talk about it. You're all proud about it. Like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do. Then, you got people who are more realist. They're like, what are you talking about, kid? Like, what are you on? Like, you ain't gonna do that. Look at you. You're like a little fat piece of shit. Like, it's just, you're not gonna, like, you're not gonna do this. Like, what do you think? Like, what do you think? It's like, I think I can do it. And then like, end of the day, like, I put in as much work as I can, but I didn't really have like a plan. I just knew like I had to keep on playing basketball. But like, I ended up just really sort of stagnating a little bit. So like one of the things I kind of wrote down, had a little bit of a note sheet. Like I thought I had the work ethic of a Division I player. I'll say it. I worked like the hardest I thought.
I know. You've been working all the time.
And then maybe at the end of it, a skill level Division III guy, whatever.
And then you were good in high school. You were putting up points.
Yeah, like I could play. Like I was a decent shooter, got in passing lanes, played good defense. But then what really was the kicker was I had the mental capacity, mental fortitude, confidence of an average high school player. And that's what I ended up being, an average high school player. So the mind will take, so the body will take you where the mind will let you.
The mind will take you where the body will let you?
No, your body leads to your mind. Your mind leads to your body, sorry. So like what you think you can do is what you think you can be capable of and what you'll actually do. So like fighters that break their hand in the middle of the fight. Like, yeah, I'm hurting, but like your mind's telling you I'm not quitting. So you're coming in there still throwing right hands, right hooks, whatever.
Yeah.
Then at the same time, like, if you have a basketball game today and you just don't feel good and like your mind is telling you I can't play, then you're not going to play. Like you're going to figure out ways to not, show up. Figure out ways to get out of it.
So you think your mindset back during the basketball journey was not at the
wasn't there. I still had the mindset of a bench player. Because I had so at the end of the day, it's my fault. Because I progressed. I had people that believed in me, that gave me the opportunity to play, and I just came up short. So I'm not afraid to say like I failed. But at the end of the day, like you have to accept your failures and keep on going, and just keep on moving and figure out what you can learn from it and keep on pushing.
Yeah, it's true stuff, because I feel like I failed a million times this year. I was telling Brad and my family, it's like failure after failure, but from it, so many good things.
Exactly.
Lots of highlights and achievements.
Yeah.
And what was that like after senior year? Were you burnt out from basketball? And you were just
like I was still hanging out, still going to like these extra, practices and things, but my mind just wasn't in it anymore. It was like the road is gone. Like the road, I'm seeing like the end of the road, and it's just like, what's the point of me doing this? Like, I'm not going anywhere with this anymore. I have to kind of figure out what else I'm going to do with my life.
Do you regret spending all those hours in the basketball?
Sometimes, to be honest, because the basketball is like kind of what made me as a child and like kind of helped me with all my different things. But at the same time, like, I got out of it what a kid that put half the time into it got out of it. So like I missed out on hanging out with you guys on the weekends.
Yeah, I feel like you were always at an age.
Yeah, I was always at a tournament. And like the amount of times like I scored 0 points probably was like 80% of the time. 0 to 6. I was always in that range. 80% of my games. It wasn't until like senior year, like second half of it, that everything really clicked. I was like, this is the end. Like you got to put everything you got into this. Like quit being afraid and just fight and do what you can.
Just ball out to the very end.
Yeah.
Fall till you fall.
Yeah.
And would you change? I mean, I know you talk about the mindset, but would you change anything if you could go back in time?
No, I wouldn't. Like thinking about it, like I wish, but I wouldn't be where I am today without those experiences.
Yeah. And what do you think are the biggest things you're going to carry from that experience on to the rest of your life?
Work ethic, figuring out how to show up, how to talk to people, know how to motivate people. Because as a captain, like I'm sort of like a rah-rah, like I'll talk to you a little bit. But then like when I was LCA captain, which I ended up being my senior year, luckily that was nice. And my coach actually was that guy that told me I was fat in front of all those kids.
No,
it's a full comeback story. It's a full comeback story.
That could be a failure. That's huge.
So the guy that said that was your high school basketball coach at LCA, and you were a captain your senior year?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, but me and him, like, he's like a father figure to me. Like, there was multiple times where I thought I could have quit. Like, I could have went to some other AAU program and, like, played. Like, I had some other opportunities. Like, people that, like, believed in me, thought I had skill, whatever. But I was like, I can't let this guy think of me this way. Like, I have to keep on fighting, pushing, and show, like, what I can do. Because, like, if I'm not going to do anything else, I'm going to prove to this guy that I'm that dude.
Yeah.
And I ended up being that dude.
Let's go.
For high school. But when it came down to it, didn't make it to college.
I mean, it sounds like you might have not reached your ultimate goal, but at the same time, you did accomplish a lot. Do you think if you saw your 6th grade Eddie who heard that comment and see where you finished off in high school, like with basketball, would you be proud?
Well, 6th grade Eddie that thought he was going to the NBA.
I guess that's true.
But like when you think about it, like when you have like a outsider's perspective, it's like a yes and no question. It's like, yes, like I learned a lot and I figured out like what I wanted to do and how like sort of to accomplish it. Like I made it here today because of those experiences. At the same time, like that Eddie that like had all those dreams, aspirations, at the end of the day, he failed. But like those failures are what make you as a person and what keep you help pushing forward and all that.
100%. And I know you probably got some questions.
Keep going,
but last
keep
one on
going.
the basketball one is because I've been tackling with this myself and I want to hear your insight. You just hear a lot on social media, like people, you just put your mind to it and you put in the hours, you can do it. But sometimes it's just not the case with reality. So in terms of like there's a negative connotation around quitting, but sometimes don't you think there might be strategic quitting? Like, hey, I don't think I'll ever realistically be able to do this, so maybe I should quit now because it's an opportunity cost. So if you spend all this time doing something that realistically you probably won't achieve, maybe you have to, at least I think maybe you have to just not quit, but like you with football.
Shift patterns, try something new.
Like you walk onto the team and then you realize that, hey, you're probably not going to play. I mean, hey, you have those stories like Julian Edelman or people like that end up playing, but the majority of people, you might have to just find a different path. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I mean, it depends. So like if you have like a business, right, and you're trying to like build it up and then like you just don't see it going anywhere, by you still trying to fight and make it, you have that experience that you could put on to the next. So like you're going under like, COVID, like so many businesses went under and then like people like haven't recovered, or if they did, they got out with their losses and then tried something else. Yeah. So like those experiences of like, ground zero, don't know what the hell's going on. Like everything's going against you, not going your way. You still have those experiences of like, okay, when shit really hits the fan, I know what I can do. I know what I can handle. So it's like, it depends. But then like in terms of like, just generally like when you kind of have to call it quits, it's all up to the person, really. Because like, with basketball, like there was only like a certain line of time that you could really play. Like really, like college, it's an extra 4 years.
Yeah.
So like it's sort of like you put in all that time, all those people put in that time in you, the teammates and all that, and like them like looking at you and like just thinking like you got your shit together. And then when it comes down to it, you make it or you don't make it, and then you just lose out all that time that I put in. It almost like went to nothing because I didn't get that victory tour 4 years. So it's sort of like it depends on the situation, depends on the person, depends on what you're doing. It's like I can't really give like a straight line answer because there's so many different variables of things, but it depends on the person, situation, what you're doing, and that's how I would kind of go about it. What do you think? What's your view on it?
I think it comes down to self-awareness.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another thing about it. Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about mindset. I got big into mindset as well after high school.
Yeah.
And I think it comes down to self-awareness, knowing yourself, but it takes time.
Yeah. Too much pride. People got too much pride. Like, I don't want to quit. I'm not a quitter. Like, I don't want to quit.
I feel like there's just a negative thing, like, oh, if you quit, like, that's bad.
Yeah.
But maybe you have to in certain things so that you can go change your path and do something different.
Yeah.
But I think, it comes down to self-awareness, and you do have to look at goals realistically for the most part. I mean, you have those Rudy stories, but...
Yeah, Jack put that Rudy comment. Do you remember that?
Which one?
When, him and his buddies at Wisconsin did... like movie reviews or something just for shits in his frat. He reviewed Rudy and like mentioned me, not by name. Like I had like this fat kid down the street that thought he was going to Duke playing basketball. And then like Rudy reminds me of that kid. Yeah. You could talk to Jack about it. It was pretty,
Oh, man.
I think one other thing too about perspective is how difficult it is particularly in the sport of basketball. I think only 60 people get drafted to the NBA every year.
Absolutely.
Like a little kid, if they say they want to be a billionaire when they grow up, they probably have better odds than making it to the NBA. So just something else to think about.
Yeah,
don't be too hard on me.
No, but I mean, it's like that's just kind of how I am. I always kind of, I think it's the Italian in me, but I just kind of have like a negative, like sort of outlook. Yeah. Just kind of like whatever could happen, like I want to be prepared, like mentally prepared. Like I'm not gonna expect too much from people because at the end of the day, like I have to expect things from myself and what I can accomplish because, whatever, like I depend on somebody for this. What if they don't do it? Then I got to kind of pick out the pieces and figure it out. Yeah. So it's just like, it'd be nice to depend on other people.
Extreme ownership.
Yeah, exactly. I read that book, Jocko. Like, for real. Like, you have to figure out what you can do and what you can control and then just let everything else go. But, like, in most situations, like, I'm having a problem with a coworker. What can you do to affect the situation? Right?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, it's easier to fix yourself than to fix other people.
That's 100%.
Yeah.
And how do you think your mindset is now?
Much better.
And what allowed you to strengthen your mindset?
It's just like reflection, like putting my effort into something else, like me and you going boxing and stuff. Like that's kind of like sort of like my chance of redemption, so to speak. That's what I think of it. It's like the mindset that I have now. I wish I had back then, but now I have this other sport that I'm kind of getting into a little bit. That hopefully I can put in what I've learned over time and kind of into that and see where it goes.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like I'm in a similar boat as well. And the business arena too.
Yeah,
that's a game.
absolutely.
Right there. And that's the one that's most likely gonna be the long game for all of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we got to use the skills.
Absolutely.
Dude, that's awesome.
But it's different with like athletics and then like using your mind because like your mind's never gonna turn off. Or hopefully it doesn't turn off. Right? But like it's just like
you're all hard shots in the boxing ring.
Like you're always learning. Every day, every second, every minute of the day, like you're learning. So like you're always picking up more information, doing different things. Whereas basketball, God forbid a knee gets off, you lose, you tear an ACL, like you're out for a year. Done. And then like you got to do all that recovery time. Like is it really worth it? Like your body starts to break down after a certain point. But your mind has a lot longer shelf life.
Oh, it does 100%. I mean, you can be 80 and still making a ton of money.
Exactly.
Compared to you. Probably by the time you're like, what does average NBA player probably retires at 30 something?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. I know LeBron's old and I don't think he's 40 yet.
He's an anomaly. Guy's 38, like about to pass Kareem probably this after the playoffs. No, but he's not going to make the playoffs though because Lakers aren't doing that good this year. But, in general, like he's got to play with his kid. Yeah, Bronny's probably going to get drafted. What is it, next year or this year, whatever. He's getting drafted soon. Yeah. He's a senior this year, so he has to play a year of college as of right now. Yep. So then by the time LeBron's 40, he's got to be playing with his kid for a season. Then he's got to call it quits. He's going to do the Ken Griffey Jr.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah. The NBA is like under his finger. Like he's like the GM, like whoever team he's on is going to draft his kid.
That'd be crazy.
Do you have any questions about the basketball journey before we switch over?
I would say let's switch it over. Make sure we get enough so once you get into college, how you come out of the basketball journey and then just hit it full speed ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me? Okay, I'll do it.
Brennan's been talking about it. I want to hear from you, David.
One major thing is you talked about how you switched from one grade school in Fairfield to another grade school in BC.
Yeah.
And just what was it like going through the transfer process? What made you realize you wanted to transfer?
Yeah.
And obviously Brennan and you both had to deal with COVID in college.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to deal with that. So just any thoughts on that? I think it's really interesting. I saw Brennan doing his schoolwork at home. But just any insights you have, I guess, on transferring and COVID.
Yeah, it was definitely difficult for sure. Obviously, nobody saw COVID coming. Yeah. Fairfield was a good experience for sure. I really enjoyed like my classes, my friends and things. Really thought I was learning a lot, but I just wasn't feeling like I was getting the outside experience of school, like the party scene, like what Jack was talking about, like I'm watching the Barstool I'm Schmacked videos, and I thought this is gonna be me. But like
you had that mindset too.
I did have that mindset. Absolutely.
I did too, but Davis didn't.
I didn't
because it didn't hit him. It didn't hit him.
I was probably too old.
Like we were like the Mo Bamba generation. Like when Mo Bamba and Pop Smoke were all playing in whatever, like the parties and stuff. Like that was it. But anyways, so I thought I was gonna be that dude. But like mind you, like self-awareness. I was never a partier. So when it came down to like I can't just be this other person that like I never was. So then, like, I tried to be, I tried to have, I was kind of, by myself at this school. So I was trying to figure out, how to get kids to like me. And I was kind of like trying to be somebody I wasn't. And, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. But like going through it, like I was, kind of difficult. Like I had different friend groups every weekend trying to go to the townhouses, which is a big thing at Fairfield. That's where all the juniors live, so like they have like all the parties and that sort of thing freshman year. So like we're like you got to have a ratio like to get into these places. It was insane. Yeah, so it was just like really tough being a dude in college.
Is this sexism? We can't have that.
Is that something you expected going to college?
No.
Or did you have no idea? Like
I didn't know nothing. I didn't know anything. I came in like naive and just thinking like, oh, it's gonna be the best time of my life, dude. Which it was one way or another, but it wasn't how I expected it to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, you're the first kid in your family too, so you have the oldest one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know like what other experiences I've had or whatever other experience other kids had because I don't talk to anybody really that much older. Like I see Bobby like at Alabama doing whatever he's doing, but like it's a totally different like mindset, different frame of mind. Like he's at SEC school, like going to like these huge games. I was like, damn, that's sick.
Yeah. I mean, that's
true. Yeah, the sports culture wasn't existent the same way.
Was there a football team at Fairfield?
No. They had the basketball team.
Hockey though too, right?
No, they don't have. They have the club hockey's pretty good. Like they go to like nationals and stuff.
Oh, okay.
The basketball teams, like a work in progress. They play in the MAC, so like they play like St. Peter's, who made that whole title run last year. What did they make it to? Elite Eight. Yeah. They made it to the Elite Eight. So that's in our conference. Iona with Rick Pitino now, these building over there. Fairfield's on the come up, I guess.
So you were at Fairfield for what, 2 years?
A year and a half.
And was it primarily just the social aspect?
Yeah, that was a big thing because that's half school, half social stuff, and I just wouldn't feel like I was getting the social aspect of it. I kind of wanted like that big like sports school kind of feel, closer to home. And then just kind of like I was, some social things were going on when I was there that I just, was trying to figure out like why this was happening and whatnot. And it was just kind of like, I only have 4 years of this, so I have to, make a move now or forever hold my peace. So
yeah, that's true. You got to take action.
Yeah, move in a big way.
How did you decide to go to BC?
So I applied to like 4 schools. So it was Bentley, Northeastern, BC, and UMass. So I got into all of them. You know, I'm not trying to gloat or anything, but like I got into all of them.
Let's go. Hype it up.
Yeah, I got into all four. I was leaning really towards Bentley because it's like a similar school to BC. But I didn't end up going because my roommate, who like, you know, I was having issues with or whatever, like my sophomore year, he ended up transferring there. So I was like, I can't like some of the reason why I'm leaving is because of this kid. Like I don't want to be around him anymore. Wow. And then like he's transferring to that school. Like dang, that's just unfortunate. Yeah,
dude. Oh, I gotta get out of school because of Eddie.
yeah, exactly. And then like
the other side.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, so that's eliminated. And then you know, UMass I just thought was kind of too big. You know, cause
he could have. Yeah,
I know. But then like with COVID that happened, right? It would just been
true.
like even crazier.
Yeah.
So then, you know, there's that. Northeastern wouldn't give me any housing, so like I was basically just living in the city. So I didn't really feel like attached to the school. And then BC, you know, just kind of gave me like everything I was really looking for. And like it was my dream school, you know, coming out of, you know, high school. Like that's where I always wanted to go. So, you know, put action to words, and I applied, I got in, and the rest is history.
Yeah, then you go there, because I remember, Eddie and I are friends, so I know this, but you wanted to just talk about your experience initially there, and it seemed to be going great, and then what happened when COVID hit?
First 6 weeks we were sick.
Was that up to your expectation of what college was like?
Yeah, I was really starting to feel like, okay, I have my groove, like this is what it's supposed to be, whatever. I made my friends really quick. So like BC has two, dining halls. So like upper and lower. So I was in upper one day, and I'm just following the crowd. I'm a new kid. I'm naive. I don't know anything.
Like
so I'm
first couple days of school.
Yeah. So I'm like walking in there, and like I thought I was going up to the dining hall, which is like up the more stairs, like the second floor, and then I just went into the first floor cafe, which is called Eagles. So like they have like these nice, burrito bowl, like salad bowls or whatever that all the kids like. So I just end up being there. I get my bowl, and like the place is crowded. So I'm like, where am I gonna sit? So then I see this kid like just churning away on his computer. He had an open seat. I was like, hey, can I sit with you? Because at the end of the day, you're at a new school. Nobody gives a shit about you. So you got to figure out how to make yourself known. So I was like, all right, I got to start taking chances here, because if I don't, Lord knows what's going to happen. So I was like, hey, can I sit with you? He's like, yeah, sure. So then I sat with him. And then two other kids showed up. My buddy Tony, who was in the... what do you do? ROTC. He was in ROTC at the time. He eventually quit. That's a whole other story. And then my buddy Alec from Cleveland. So then we were all talking. The kid I talked to his name's Nick. He kind of ended up like kind of opening the whole thing up for me, introducing me to all the people he knew and stuff. And I kind of found that friend group that I always wanted, and like I kind of really made me feel at home.
Wow. And did you go into BC with a different mindset? Like, oh, I'm going to take these risks. Were you not taking those risks in Fairfield, or was it?
Well, so I wanted to go to like a bigger school and that sort of thing, like, and go to the sports games. But like at the end of the day, like I found out like I didn't really care about that stuff that much. Like the football really like wasn't that good. Like I think all the home games I went to, I don't know if we won a single game that I was there. It was it was laughable. And then basketball, like they're a work in progress too.
They have higher academic standards now,
exactly.
Right? That's the sports program.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but apparently
exactly. Yeah, so it's like difficult to get in there.
Yeah.
And then like, you're competing against like these other ACC schools that like, top-notch basketball, and then like we're just not producing. Yes. So, and then like at the end of the day, like I would have went, but I just had so much work that like I just couldn't find the time to balance and like go like do these things that I like wanted to do.
Did you always have a lot of work at college, or was it like once you transferred?
Fairfield, I lived in the library. I was a literal bookworm. Like after all my classes, I'd be in the library for like 2-3 hours a day, like doing all my homework and stuff. I didn't do homework in the room because I needed sort of some separation. So I was always in the library doing stuff. And then like, me having the difficulty, like having friends and stuff, like I ended up just kind of chilling and like kind of hanging out in the library. Oh, wow. Like just doing work and stuff, just kind of getting ahead. And I did pretty well because of that. But now at BC, like I gotta have that social aspect, so it's like more difficult. Like that's something else I have to balance.
Yeah.
So then like it's a different. I think like or I don't know if I would say more difficult school. I would just say that because like I had more things to juggle, it was more difficult to kind of get everything done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So then now in Eddie's arc of Eddie's life.
Yeah, the story, the hero journey.
You're finally getting that college experience. You had that friend group. You're getting those parties.
Yeah.
And when was this spring of 2020?
Yeah, spring of 2020.
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
so I got in January, what, like 20th or something along those lines.
Okay.
And then, March.
And then March 2020, COVID hits.
Yep.
What are your thoughts? I mean, no one predicted it, and everyone kind of just had to do the thing, but...
I mean, not no one predicted it. I mean, some of these people knew.
Yeah,
some of the
true.
scientists, doctors, some people made a ton of money off it too.
Yeah.
Investing.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, most people didn't predict it.
Yeah, most
the
people-
common man didn't know shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so then COVID hits, and it totally changes your college experience.
Yeah.
At least for me, I mean, I was at the school for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
No, 3.5 years. Sorry.
Yeah, because we're a year behind.
Yeah.
Or I am.
Where you
I'm a year
just met
behind.
these kids.
Yeah.
And now you don't see any of them. What was that like?
Yeah, so it was definitely difficult. Just kind of going about my classes. We had a group chat going, so I kept in touch with them that way. Still worked with some of them on some projects because we were in some of the same classes. Still kind of kept myself involved, but like not really that much conversation or anything. Weren't really getting together at all. Luckily, they brought us back in this the fall semester that following year, but all the classes were online, and I had to live off campus because as BC. They only give you 1 year of housing. And because I transferred the second half of the year, my first half got waived. So I only had the second half, then I had to live off campus. And then, which was tough. I lived across the street from my friends. So like the happening place junior year is 2K, 2000 Commonwealth. So like right down the street from BC on the same side.
Mm-hmm.
So over there, that's where all like a lot of the juniors lived. And I lived in an apartment building across the street, 2001.
Yeah.
I lived with Sam Tolk.
Yeah, I remember I went to your place that one time.
Yeah.
The Winchester people.
Yeah. Shout out to Sam. Good kid.
Yeah. Were there a lot of Winchester people at BC? Because I feel like they're pretty fair.
Yeah, there was a few. So, that I talked to, I only really talked to like two. So it was Sam and then Sophia Pacific, who like transferred to Rivers. And she, went to BC. She was a Winchester girl, though. She went to the middle school and stuff, but I think went to Rivers for high school.
Yeah, no, we know who she is.
Yeah.
Just the support systems out there. Just having a couple people can make a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a crazy question. Because I'll go running around BC sometimes.
Yeah.
And the housing around there is fire. I mean, there's big money.
Yeah.
Was it tough to find a place to rent off campus?
No, there's a lot of stuff. Like, because,
Okay.
I mean, like, that's prime real estate. Like, you
Yes.
always have a market. And you could charge whatever the hell you want because people need the places to stay. So, like, it's basically, like, you could do whatever you want. But obviously, like, if it's too expensive, you're going to... But you can charge premiums because, like, you're close access to the school. And these people got bags that go to... like,
So
they got
they
bags.
must be paying crazy money
Bags.
for
The
those
people that go to
places.
school or the people that
The parents.
Both. Probably people
Both,
renting
yeah.
the money.
Yeah, like if you got the whatever 2001 that apartment for like 20 years, and you have a constant flow of tenants every
College
year.
kids.
Yeah,
But college kids tend to destroy apartments too, so...
there's that aspect, but at the same time, like they're not paying for it; the parents are. So it's like you're getting your money.
Charge the premium.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think college housing off campus is a money
Big
idea.
opportunity.
Yeah, insane. That's what I was telling you, UMass Dartmouth. I'm telling you, because they're building up that. I think they're going to build up that school. It's the last one.
Wait, are you calling your shot right now?
I'm calling my shot. I'm calling my shot right
Let's
now.
go, the real estate investor.
What's your shot?
Call my shot right now. Dartmouth, Massachusetts. Think about it. They're doing a lot of UMass. Like they
Yes.
keep on building up there, and like they're building all those apartment buildings and things. So that's kind of saturated. Like there's too many people over there. UMass Lowell's really building up. Like they're doing a lot with like the engineering program, the business school, all that sort of stuff. UMass Boston, they're doing a lot of construction there too.
Yeah.
And then Dartmouth, it's the last one. It's the last
Missing piece.
frontier. Like right down there in the south.
What do you think the timeline is there? Should we...
I don't know exactly like what they're doing, but I think that's a emerging market because you got the school there. Unless they put the school and do like get rid of the school and do something else with it, I think that could be a market that would be worth investing. Difficult thing is though is getting down there because at least from Winchester, it's like probably close to an hour, if not a little more.
Yeah, going through the city.
Yeah,
Which is tough.
yeah. Going
Yeah,
towards like Fall River and
That's
stuff.
key insight.
Yeah, that's what that's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong, but if you're looking for an investment property, I think Dartmouth might be an interesting spot.
We're not real estate investors. Just
Yeah.
Put it out
We're
there.
not telling you to invest in Dartmouth for just that's his opinion. But
Yeah.
no, that's good insight.
It's
I mean,
good inside analysis.
Always find a town with a school because you're gonna have like students or young professionals that like wanna be close to their school and have that network and that sort of thing. So if you have a town with a school, like you have like a constant stream of things. Like these restaurants in these college towns, bank.
Yes.
Always making money.
Oh, it
Bars
though too though, because school's only in session for a couple months.
That's true,
so,
but you can make a ton in that short span.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, out at Amherst, I always think a money idea would be to have a bar.
Yeah. I remember you had that idea. You were like talking about
the amount of money people throw on the weekends is nuts.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe that's a venture for another.
But it's way like the bar business is difficult.
Because you have to get the liquor license.
Exactly. That's a big hurdle. And then like having a place that people actually want to show up to. And like having that brand name and feeling like, why would I go here instead of these other places that like are more well known and that sort of thing.
What do you think causes a bar to become that? Is it the people that it attracts, or is it the
poor management? It's like that's the start. That's the start of it. Like, you know, you have a good idea, it's new things, whatever, and then at the end of the day, your colors will show. Like management is not doing a good job. Like you see the place getting scrungy. Like it smells like mildew. The bathroom is in terrible condition. And then at the end of the day, those higher end clientele people that are going to keep paying for drinks, they migrate someplace else, and you get like the low level people that just want a beer, and like they're not really willing to just show up there and stay and do that.
Well, yeah, each environment's different. Like a Boston bar compared.
Yeah.
I would say with Amherst, since it's a small college town, is if you can build the hype around it and get the people there, then you're gonna have a massive crowd. Like Spoke, for instance, or the pub used to have a lot of people go there. But yeah, I guess it all comes down to.
But it's a major town. But the school makes the town.
Yeah.
If the school wasn't there, that town would be nothing. Or I don't know about nothing. It'd be something. But like it's a major it's a major landmark in Mass because of the school.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
like it's one of the major cities out in the West with Springfield and Worcester.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because of the school.
I agree. All right, so you go to college, COVID hits, everything's online, and you finish up there, and want to just talk through graduating college to now. Because I know that was a big thing for you.
Wicked difficult. It was like, so I have this job, or no, I don't have a job yet. That's coming November. So I graduate in May, like May 23rd, a Monday. I don't know why they made it a Monday, because they wanted their own standalone day. I don't know, but but yeah. So we graduated on Monday, and then from there, like I'm just trying to get through. Like I'm just like doing my classwork and stuff, and I finally graduate. So like, all right, so now the next step, finding a job. All my friends and stuff are like having like employment starting in like August or whatever, and I'm just kind of like, dang, all right, I'm behind. So I got to kind of get going on this. Applying to jobs like left and right, quick apply, cover letter, all that sort of stuff. And then like I'm just not gaining any traction. So, I'm trying, it's just not working out. The summer is sort of, summer, like sort of take my time off a little bit.
I was down the Cape.
Yeah, I was down the Cape like every weekend. So that was
we saw it down there.
Yeah,
awesome.
Down at Chatham Bars Inn.
Yeah.
No, not Chatham Bars, Chatham Squire.
Yeah, that was a good
time. The bars is like a whole nother level of the place.
Lots of Winchester people there.
Yeah. So that was fun. But yeah, so like took it serious, but like not that serious during the summer. Like completely my fault. I should have been more on top of it. But then September rolls around, and I go to the Labor Day football game at BC, and I'm listening to all these kids talk about their jobs and stuff. Like, oh Ed, what are you up to? I'm not really that good of a liar. I'm really like authentic and tell it like it is. So I'm like, nothing. Like I'm just I'm still looking for something to do. So then like they're talking about like their job, like I'm working IB, I'm at, Liberty Mutual, I'm at this, I'm at that. And I'm like, geez. And like, I'm saying like, yeah, it's so tough to find a job. Like, I'm like, blaming other people instead of blaming myself. Like, why am I not in this position? So then like, I really take a step back from like, really think about like what I was saying that day. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, get a hold of yourself. You sound pathetic. So from then on, like I just closed off really. Like I didn't talk to anybody. I talked to you because we boxed together. But everybody else, I was just kind of like, I kind of have to figure this out. So that's kind of a bad thing about me. Like when I kind of am going through whatever it is, I just kind of like to close off and only talk to like the necessary people, I guess, mom, sister, grandmother, whatever. But so that's kind of like a bad thing that I kind of do. But it's kind of sort of helps me. Like I kind of sort of internalize. Take that time, figure out, what do I want to do? What's the plan? How can I get there? and then I just try and start executing. But luckily, I still kept in touch with you because that really helped a lot.
Yeah, because Eddie was so dialed in. I mean, I would see we box a few times a week, which is cool. Yeah. But Eddie wouldn't come out on the weekends. Yeah. And we'd be like, come on, Ed, come out. But he was focused in. Yeah. I mean, you landed the job, and now you're starting there.
Yeah. I just wasn't about it because, like, I did, all that college drinking and all that sort of stuff. Like, just kind of being, I don't want to be like a bar rat. Like, just kind of going to the bar every weekend because I feel like I have to. Like, feeling that pressure. Like, college is one thing because, like, you don't really have a social life if you're not going out. Like, more times than not. I'm not saying, like, that's just kind of my experience. Like, I'm hoping that other people don't feel like they have to drink to have a social experience. But, like, in most circumstances, like, from what I've seen, like, it's just sort of kind of what it is.
I mean, I agree. I think, at least with my college experience, too, a lot of the whole entire experience from and going out and partying. And so I remember sometimes I wouldn't want to do it. It's like, if you don't, I just felt ugly. I was just in that environment.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel
so now I just kind of go out and, try and make it more meaningful. Like, oh, it's like a buddy's birthday. Okay, yeah, I'll go out. Oh, my holiday party, which I just had this Friday. Yeah, I'll go out and do that. Yeah. Like, but it's not just like, oh, I got to go to Capo this weekend because it's Friday. I got to start boozing. Like, if I got something else better to do, I'd rather go to the gym and box than just go, sit in a basement, wait outside in these long ass lines when it's cold outside.
That's true.
So it's just kind of like weighing, like, what can you do now to make yourself better instead of just kind of going with the crowd and doing whatever everybody else is doing.
Go to the high school reunion.
That was fun. Like, that's an experience. That was worth the drinks and stuff.
100%.
Yeah.
Saw people that we hadn't seen in years.
Yeah, people you don't even think about.
You in particular, since you left early.
Yeah, exactly.
So you probably hadn't seen some of those kids in like 7 years.
Yeah.
And just 100%. Catching up with what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm glad, because if I didn't have a job, I probably wouldn't have went.
That's true.
Honestly, because every question's like, oh, Ed, what are you up to? Then I got to keep on sounding pathetic and being like, I just graduated college, still looking for a job. Oh, what are you thinking about? If people really care, like, they'll start trying to divulge information from you or whatever. And I'm just like, it's just painful. It's like every conversation just keeps on getting more and more painful. It's just
how good did it feel when people asked, hey, Eddie, what are you?
Oh, I had an extra pep in my step. I was like the best thing since sliced bread. I was out here. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm in fintech now. Like, I'm helping people with trades. Like, oh, that's so awesome. Good for you. And I'm just like, yes, that's what I wanted.
Here's a question. Why is it that the job is so central to people's identity?
Because it's that time. It's that time of life question.
Really?
So now the next thing's like, oh, Ed, do you have a girlfriend? Ed, when are you getting married? So like these life-centered questions. Like, you hit that certain age, it's like, what do you like? When you're out of school, you're supposed to when you're out of high school, you're supposed to, you're going to college or have something going on. When you're out of college, do you have a job? When, you're like 26, 27, do you have a girlfriend? 30, when are you getting married? 35, when are you having kids? Like, you're sort of like that sort of time frame-ish type of thing. It's like the time of your life brings on the certain amount of questions that you get asked. So that's kind of what I've seen.
Like the specific questions too.
Yeah.
That's the invisible hand that guides human society.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But each culture is a little different too in terms of what it finds important.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
But yeah, because Dave's brought up a good point.
I try to shape what I tell people, because I always ask people the question, what are their highlights in their life right now?
Yeah.
Just so they can talk about whatever's going well. They might be struggling in one area that people care a lot about, but on the side, they might have something really cool going on that's going to blast into the forefront in the future.
Yeah, shaping's key for sure. That's something I got to work on. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a question that I forgot, but I feel like you're calculated in what you do? I know you just started your job here, but are you already thinking down the road about, because you already know these questions are going to be asked to you.
Yeah.
It sounds like. So are you calculating how?
You got to take it day by day, because all that shit is just a looming doom, right? So it's just, you got to figure out how.
Does it have to be though?
No, it doesn't have to be. But I'm just saying that's just sort of the phrase of expression that just came to my head.
Doing more like, it's gonna be awesome.
It's the looming thing coming on. So what I've kind of tried to implement is just take it day by day. Do the right things every day to set yourself up for the next day, and then those things will eventually come. Like in terms of being like a girlfriend, whatever, right? You can't expect to have somebody else in your life if you're not secure in what you're doing with yourself. Because then that just causes toxicity and other problems. So you have to get yourself right before you can bring somebody else in. That's just my opinion. Everybody else is different. Like, I need somebody. Like, I'm lonely, whatever. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, if I'm not secure in who I am, then I push that onto her, and then just like, it's just bad news. So you just got to figure out yourself, and then, you know, when you feel like you're ready, bring yourself in. But at the same time, you don't know if you're ready for a relationship until you get into one. So it's like, you know, you can prepare all you want, but you don't know really what's behind whatever it is until you get into one. You know what I mean? You don't have the experience. You can watch all the TV, all the whatever you want to try and think like, oh, I know what's going on here. But then you don't know until you know.
Yeah. Yo, are you going on The Bachelor next? Is that next up? It's up there.
ABC, call me up.
That'd be awesome.
Dude, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be a time.
Ed, you should apply. That'd be so funny.
Have Nana make cutlets for all the cast.
Oh my god. Wait, what?
Have Nana make cutlets for all the cast. My grandmother.
Oh.
You know my grandmother. You met her once or twice, right?
A few times.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that would be hilarious. But what are, if you could, 3 keys to, because right now it sounds like you're in this development phase where you're gaining a lot of awareness, reading books. Do you ever feel that you have all this knowledge pent up, but you just don't have anything to show for it?
Yeah, all the time for sure. But I'm just thinking like, keep expanding your toolbox, and then eventually you'll find like a screw, right? A hypothetical screw that you have the tool for to, you know, screw it into the wall, whatever it is. So, you know, just keep on building, keep on, you know, getting those data files in your brain, and then eventually when that time comes, oh, I know how to do this, and then you execute.
Yeah, and it takes time.
Yeah.
I mean, I have this conversation with Davis too, where you see these people on social media and they're young and they're worth a ton of money, but that's not the normal path of life for most people.
Yeah.
Where it takes time. You got to be like 40, 50 years old before you get to the top of the corporate company.
Everybody wants the quick fix. There's no such thing as a quick fix. Yeah. If you think it's a quick fix, something's wrong with you. You got to change your attitude. Because everything that's worth having in your life, you have to work hard for. That's what I've kind of figured out the hard way.
What are Eddie's 3 key rules to success? If you have
alignment. You got to be aligned with your body, your mind, your emotional, your spirit, everything. I started going to church in August. Like, been going. That's where I was today, 11:30 to 12:30.
Did you grow up going to church?
No. Because going to Christian school, whatever, I've seen all these people sing all these worship songs. My God's an awesome God, Cornerstone, if you know those songs or whatever. And I'm just sitting there like, wow, this is an experience. Like, you know, what do these kids have in their life that I don't have? Like, God is bringing them here or done something to them for a reason, you know. I believe there is a higher power out there. I know, you know, you're more on the atheist track now since you were, you know, getting your confirmation stuff, you kind of went that route, you and Jack. But I still think, like, there's something out there that's worth, like, exploring and trying to find and get aligned with. Because at the end of the day, like, you all need something to believe in. And I believe in God, and I think that He plays a role in my life.
Yo, we had Brent back in church last weekend. This guy's in
for
church.
real?
Yeah.
Oh, progress. There you go.
Let's
there
go.
We go.
Yeah, no, it was good. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I've been in church a few times, and like a feeling will come up. A cool thing I've seen, especially with people that are religious, is this way that they speak, and they describe it as God is speaking through them.
Yes,
and they're very confident, and it is very cool to see. And power to them for that. I mean, granted, I don't.
Tim Tebow.
Yeah,
I think that guy's a
sports that guy.
The power
so
is
inspiring. Yeah.
And God seems to be speaking through these individuals. But I mean, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. I don't want to get into it. That's maybe another podcast. Maybe that's the part 2.
Yo, we'll be up there at the altar one day at church, ripping into it or something.
But man.
Any last words? Any big highlights?
Well, you said 3 things, right?
Yeah,
that was one thing.
Yeah.
You got to work hard for your dreams and don't give up.
When you say work hard, because I was actually watching a Netflix show called A Coach's Playbook. Have you seen that?
I've heard of it, yeah.
And I watched the episode with Doc Rivers. It was pretty cool.
Okay.
They give pretty much 7 tips of how they coach to, just 7 tips how to live a successful life as a player and as an individual. But there's working hard, and then there's also like working hard with the right intention behind it.
Yes, that's the big thing.
You can go to the gym and, I don't know, shoot free throws or do something, but if it's not calculated and has the proper intent behind it, it's not going to get you to where you want.
Exactly.
So I guess,
so that's kind of like what happened with my basketball career, really. I just was going to the gym, just, you know, shooting, doing different things, but I didn't have a structured workout. It wasn't like, oh, I'm working on floaters today. I'm working on left-handed finishes tomorrow. I'm working on, you know, corner threes and conditioning the next day. Yeah. It's like you got to have like a structured plan and sort of like figure out like, okay, so I worked on this week. What do I need to work on? And then you should use the games to like try out these certain things and then go into next week. Okay, I tried to do this in the game, didn't work out. This is what I'm going to try and do. So like with the sparring, with boxing, that's exactly how it is.
Said,
yeah. So it's like you don't know until you're in it. So then so that's kind of what I was going to say something else, but I think I lost my train of thought.
All right, so we got alignment, and then we got working hard with intent. What's the third one?
Yeah. Working hard with intent. Just have that mental fortitude, because that's the end of like what I was saying. Like the body will go where the mind takes it.
Yeah. So
it's just like you have to have that undying belief in yourself that you can do whatever it is you feel like you want to, whatever it is you want to do. So another thing. So Dan Pena? He's like a famous. I'm pretty sure I talked about him. Yeah, he's pretty.
Like, show me your friends.
Yes, exactly, 100%. Surround yourself with like-minded people. Well, obviously you want to have difference of opinion, but you want to have like with the same ambition, talk about the same things, trying to get better, not just like slouches that are just willing to go through life doing X, Y, and Z. That's just going to get them to average results. Yeah. You got to keep on building, keep on executing. Just find ways to keep on growing, because stagnation is like the worst thing.
Yeah, I know, I agree. I mean, we only got one shot at this. I mean, everything that you talked about sounds like it's working hard, but what about in terms of enjoying enjoying life? Do you have a tip on that? Because like you can get...
No, you have to enjoy the process. Yeah. That's the whole thing of it. Like, it may seem like, oh, Ed, you're a grinder. Like, this is what you really think in your head. Like, this is the first time I've ever heard you speak about things, right? But, like, I enjoy, like, my process. Like, that's what you have to do. That's what you have to find. If money is your ultimate motivator, you're not going to go anywhere, because eventually you're going to have whatever amount of money. Then what's next? What's that next thing that's going to keep on moving you forward, keep pushing you? Is it, having these nice things? Even then, money leads to things lead to problems. So it's like, how are you affecting other people? What is something that you've done in your life today that people will remember you for when you have to read your eulogy? Like, you have to just think about ways that you affect other people and how you can manifest those things throughout your process, whatever that process is.
Oh, that's good right there.
That's deep.
Dave,
that's
you got anything to wrap it up?
Any big highlights you want to throw out there? Any predictions? Anything about what's coming next?
No. I'm just excited to be here. I'm just glad that we finally got this going, and I really enjoyed our conversation. I really appreciate you guys having me here.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Ed, because, we've known you for years and years. So coming in and being able to hear it means a lot.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. I'm really excited to see where the brand goes.
Yeah. You're taking it to the top. Let's go.
As Michael Chandler would say, see you at the top.